So
Oh, yes, I saw Dr.
Dr. Ward, are you able to answer that, or can you hear us right
I'll say
now?
it again. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, I don't know if I heard you.
Okay, we can hear you.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Let me see if maybe I need, yeah, because I'm super loud, right? So although I've improved on my skills, I promise. I apologize because I was actually texting everybody that I just got in the Zoom meeting so that everybody else comes in, because I think this is a team effort.
Okay.
Oh,
What's the question?
are you filing medical insurance for your appliances, or are you fee for service?
We are fee for service. However, we have.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me? I'm answering, but I guess, did you hear me?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, good.
Okay. It's delayed, I think that's what it is.
Yes. So we have traditionally done fee for service, and we have tried to file it. We used dental writers in the past. And it coincidentally, it has been interesting that patients have found us through, we're already here if anybody is coming in.
Pardon me?
Is anybody else coming in?
I think everyone.
All right, come on. So we can get rolling. So anyway, some people have actually filled out forms through dental writer, even though we're not using it as much anymore, but it kind of has been a little bit of that. Now, what happened was we had a set, in my eyes, you know, in my limited knowledge, we had a session to have the training. Here's how the paperwork goes. Here's your big zipped folder that you unzip, and there's all these files right here, and you're just gonna follow these, and off you go, and go. And then go was bigger than just go, you know? And so Carla comes from a sleep practice, and I see her confidence and her comfort in speaking about that. Just today I was delivering a couple of implant crowns on this lady, and she told us about her CPAP. We started talking, and while I left the room for something else, Carla talked with her. We learned she's Medicare. We're moving through that. Okay.
Good.
To get her a device. But then it seems like the carry-o and the paperwork and the order of events. And so when the patient makes the phone call, there's like in everything, and I feel like everything that we do is a treatment plan. What is step 1, step 2, step 3? What is like all the phases of the treatment to really get it to happen? And I'm not seeing that flow. Part of it, I understand it is that we are busy. I mean, we're booked almost through August, if I can say that correctly, but we decided we were opening a space. I want to say Tuesdays. I don't really remember, but I think I sent that in an email that we were going to open one of those new patient exams of the week to certainly be for my whole team. Well, Susan and Carla are here.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, guys.
And so I have another screen coming up on me. Oh, no, never mind. It's a marketing thing. I was like, what are you doing? And so it seems like the order of events isn't, we're not there. We don't probably understand it. This is not the first time. And I think I thought with Carla's previous expertise, what I had imagined was, all right, a patient, we are doing the marketing, which means we're going to get an increased flow of patients. That means we receive a phone call or Carla addresses it online, however the system is. We get the documentation from the patients, then it moves on to Susan's and Carla's hands so we can get the medical, find out if they have a sleep study or not, you know, go through that, all right? And then once we know, A, they have a sleep study or not, and B, if they've had a sleep study, if we actually can help them from insurance, then we should be able to schedule them in and move on, right? But I'm sure that what I'm saying is oversimplified because that has not been what it has actually happened. And so we get the leads, but we get the leads, but we can't, I don't think I mean, I see the leads all the time. I don't even know if you see the leads. And then I don't know what else is happening from there. You know, we get a patient here and there, and the couple of patients we've seen, or maybe handful of patients that we've seen, either don't have dentists or their dentist, their mouth is pretty messy, or they have a dentist and we are out of network because I am more of a specialty practice in this sense.
Okay.
I do lots of bros, and it's
Okay.
my business model is lots of referral kind of
Mhm.
system. And so what ends up happening with the few patients that we've seen is they need to go to their dentist, get their dentistry done, there was a patient that was perio, get their whole perio done. And so we
Right.
really were grabbing like a few here and there, and most of them have been in-house, the patients who we, because of the increased awareness, we have been discussing more, about sleep. But from the leads, I'm not seeing too terribly much, but that's my perception, so I feel like we're missing something, like we're not connecting all the dots in order for it to flow. Would you agree?
We do have a lot of patients scheduled for it,
Mhm.
but it's, um, they're
No
just
show.
scheduled out, or they cancel or no show.
Mhm.
Not
Do
really,
you
they cancel.
do you guys collect a deposit in order for them to schedule? Have you considered doing that?
Well, we were advised by, it could either be Todd or Doug, if
Okay.
I don't actually have a black and white answer for that, but their advice was not to, because it says free consultation, free consultation, free consultation. I
Right.
have never liked that,
Mhm.
because not many good things come from free things.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, that's not my system. I've always had new patient exam fee. I don't have a consultation fee because I
Right.
don't do a
Right.
quick consult. That's not how we work.
Right.
And
Well,
so,
for us to cut, is it okay, Todd, if I share what I changed to doing?
Yeah, I was just
Okay.
going to tell her about the
Okay.
transition we helped you guys make.
Okay. I to get our no-show rate under control, I did start requiring a deposit. Yes, you'll get less people to schedule, but when they put an investment in, they'll come.
yeah.
If you can get a deposit over the phone, then they're invested in it. And what we do is we have like a set consult fee. And if they don't give us 24-hour notice to cancel, they lose that deposit. And we tell them that. But if they show up, that deposit gets credited towards their treatment.
Yes, indeed. So I've done a new patient exam,
Mm-hmm.
a fee for it, and I have not ever requested patients to pay for the new patient exam in advance. Has anybody? No.
Mhm.
I
We
think
don't-
that because people want to see you.
Yeah.
I think sleep, we're getting a different audience.
Right. And that's, yeah. So that's why I started. Yeah. Only for sleep patients do I do that. I don't do that for any of my other patients, but for the sleep patients that are calling just for that, we do require a deposit to schedule. That was the only way we could cut back on all the no-shows. So that helped us tremendously there. Yes, you'll get less people that schedule, but at least, then it's better, to know that over the phone before they take a block of your time and they don't show up.
Yeah, because we're booked out as it is. Now, I
Yeah.
think that was perceived negatively. Carla,
Mhm.
you're not speaking, but
Well, I know that they said the consult should be free, but
obviously
I
that's
mean,
not.
it makes a good point, to have the deposit down because
Mhm.
away production from our time.
Right.
And also, it doesn't have to be a deposit paid up front. You can actually just take their debit card or credit card number and then say, you're only going to be charged for this if you do not show up.
So we're not allowed to do that in Virginia.
Okay.
We're not
Okay.
allowed to do that in Virginia. We cannot hold on to any kind of credit cards of any information
Mm-hmm.
That's good
unless
to
the
know.
patient
Okay.
tells us directly, can you hold on to this so you can, if the patient says that, and I don't even know if it goes in writing, but we are not allowed to request it on our end.
Okay.
But what we have done, or what I used to do with my previous sleep life, was we either did a new patient exam fee, like we do a new patient exam fee and we move on, or we did. I don't know why the number 437 is coming to my mind, but what did that entail? Does anybody remember? You probably won't, but do you remember? Oh, I feel like I remember, it was all the x-rays of the pan, because I have an OP 300 and I can take PAs
Okay.
and laterals of the joints. I don't have a CT, but the day will come.
Right.
And so I would take a pan, the lat, the PA, so I was to be
Fill out
sure
for that.
there are no bone spurs and other limitations, before I moved on. And so I think the fee for all the x-rays and the consultation,
Mhm.
I think, but I'm not remembering anymore because we ditched that because we were saying, okay, we're gonna do the free consult. Do you charge for your deposit of what would be a new patient exam or what? Or
No, so I have like a separate consult fee just for that, for sleep patients. And so, for instance, for me, like we do require a $50 deposit, which is part of that, new patient consult, in order for them to schedule. And we do collect that over the phone.
And
And
that's any patient who calls new patient?
no, just sleep patients.
Oh,
Just
sleep, got it.
yeah, just people that are interested in sleep. Yeah.
Understood. And how much
Yeah.
of your time does that mean?
So usually our initial visit is about 30 minutes or so, and that's me talking to them about it, seeing where they're at on their journey. I have moved back to fee for service, so I'm no longer doing medical. So our first visit is usually about 30 minutes. And then if they haven't had a sleep study, I'm sending them home with the home HST, and there's an additional charge for that. But I, sit down, talk to them about their situation and go over our fees. And I do offer in-office financing. And I'm welcome, more than welcome to email you that if you want to leave your email address, just kind of an example of what we
I don't
do.
know how to do the link, but I would love to know that
Yeah.
information.
Yeah. And so that's what we do. And yes, I get, less patients to schedule, but they're quality patients and, they tend to be more invested and move forward in it.
What do you mean by we have moved back to?
So I tried medical and I tried different routes of medical. It wasn't beneficial to us from a cost standpoint. I wasn't getting, return
Using
on
the
investment.
marketing. You're still using the marketing?
Oh yes, I still use Todd. Yeah, I still
Yeah.
use Todd. But I don't use. We're not doing medical anymore.
Not dedicated sleep, for example.
No.
And Dr. Manning, when you were billing medical, I
Right.
remember like in your first 2 months, you did like delivered 7 or 8 appliances through medical, right? Or were some of those cash?
Well, no, actually, honestly, most of them were fee for service. Let's see, before I had tried dedicated sleep through Pristine, I did 2.
Okay.
Only got reimbursement on 1. That's a whole nother story. 1 is still pending.
They're always a long story.
Yeah. And then through dedicated sleep, I did process about 4, only received reimbursement as far as the appliance part of it on 1 of them yet. It's just a long process.
Yeah.
But what I was investing to use those companies, for me, based on the patients I was seeing, it was not cost effective at all. I mean, I
Okay.
was basically spending money to see patients not getting anything, in return.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So,
And as far as, I know, Dr. Ward, one thing you guys said has been a struggle is obviously you guys have a thriving dental practice. You guys are doing well on that side. So, kind of adding all these sleep leads to follow up with and that Carla's communicating with can be cumbersome. And there's also, like you mentioned in your email, there's a lot of hand holding with these patients that has to happen. If they haven't had if they have an outdated sleep test, they have to get a new sleep test. And, if you don't have, if you guys aren't up to date with the ResMed stuff that you have in the office, then, is it, Dr. Manning, is there any other routes they could take with home sleep testing?
So I like Watermark Aries. I don't know if you've heard of that. Have you ever heard of that, Dr. Ward, or try that? That's what I use. I know there's pros and cons to all of them. I did use the ResMed when I was using dedicated sleep. To me, Watermark is more user-friendly for the patients, but.
So Susan was gonna ask something, but
Yes.
I would love to learn your work.
Okay.
What were you gonna say?
so your initial appointment, I guess this is what I'm
Yes.
looking at, is 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Then they get the sleep study or whatever, and then they come back.
Yes, and they have to bring it back the next day. Go ahead, though.
How long would that appointment last?
So that second appointment, once they come back, well, let me back up. I have them bring the sleep study back the next day. So basically they're dropping that off with one of the girls up front. Then I have to have the sleep study read. And the way Watermark works is I have a sleep physician read that through a portal, and then
So
they send the report
But
back to
you
me.
do it?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I can email you that too, because off the top of my head, I've been using them for so long, I can't think of the name of the company, but there is a company and they charge me, I think, $69 per sleep test to read it. And she'll send me back, he or she will send me back a signed report Then I schedule the patient to come in, and at that appointment, and remember at the initial, I kind of already gone over with them the fees. So we go over the sleep study. If they are mild or moderate, and I feel like I can treat them with an appliance, then that day, if they're ready to move forward, I'd say we block off about an hour. And then we can get the impressions or scan. I don't know if you have a digital scanner, if you're taking PVS impressions.
We scanner.
Yeah, so we scan too. So did that answer your question? I kind of jumped around.
Yes.
Okay.
How long in between, like?
Oh, this,
to
okay.
Study.
It usually takes these doctors that read them for me. They usually get back to me in like 2 to 3 days. Honestly, they're pretty quick. Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
what we've been doing, which is really no different than before, is what we've been doing is a sleep patient calls. We are fee for service or have been fee for
Right.
service. We find out if they have a sleep study or not.
Mm-hmm.
Send them to the local sleep doctor, to people that we work with, get help. We help them set up their appointment, so that is one way for me to know if they're serious about going for it.
Right.
Sometimes we talk about it and then they're like, oh, okay. And then they go out the door like, no, I didn't.
Right. Right.
So yay or nay, that kind of helps verify if they're interested or not. Then we get a report from that sleep doctor. And then is when we talk about what we're going to, I guess we talk about it from the beginning. We talk about what we can do, but we first need a diagnosis.
Right.
But in the meantime, we're trying to ask to collect the medical insurance pretty much when we meet. I always say we need driver's license, medical, and dental, whomever comes through the door, in photo.
Right.
Nice to meet you. Here's the lineup.
Right.
And so, but we don't do anything if we haven't really done anything with dedicated sleep, or what the way we have done it with dental writer is we're supposed to send the pre-estimate, to find out what their insurance covers, but you can't do anything until you actually have a sleep study.
Correct.
So that delays the whole picture until forever.
Right. And that's why, honestly,
it'll take another forever.
Right.
And
the patient loses interest. I know.
And then it's done. And then you may or may not get to it, or the next hygiene comes and you're like, you know? And because we're so busy, I really think our biggest fault right now is that we're so busy keeping track of whomever is not interested, or that we need to give that extra nudge, is hard to do.
Right. Right. And that's the other main big reason I stopped doing medical, is not just kind of the cost aspect of it, but the time. Like you said, the time to me is just, it was too much.
So what is your system currently, if you don't mind us?
Yes. So what I'm trying to do as far as the leads is we want people to call us. We don't really want to be chasing people. No. So what I'm working on with Todd is I'm trying to get personal testimonials from my patients that I have made sleep appliances for. And like 1 or 2 very informal, nothing fancy. I mean, I'm literally just bringing them in with my own iPhone, just a heartfelt video from them, 1 to 2 minutes. And then I am posting that on my website. So what I'm trying to do with Todd with the leads is, instead of, click here and they end up going to the dashboard, it's next step, look at this additional video, which is going to be my thank you page, where I'm telling the patients, go to this link, look at these testimonials, and then call us. Because I feel like if they're really interested, they'll call, versus, us having to chase everybody down from the leads. Because the number one question we get, since we are fee for service, is, will it work? And of course we can tell them it will work, but they think we just want their, money. Sure, but hearing it from another patient, I'm hoping is going to be more beneficial to the people that are interested. And, if they hear some heartfelt testimonials. So that's how I'm trying to change and go about it now.
Okay. Where are you located?
I'm in Mid Hill, North Carolina.
Oh, okay, cool.
You probably never heard of it.
Actually, I'm not, even though I do know a little bit of North Carolina. Where are you in North Carolina? Where is Mid Hill?
So Mid Hill is like, Charlotte, of course. I'm sure you've heard of Charlotte. Yes. Mid Hill is a little bit south of Charlotte.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jim, my husband's grandmother was from Albemarle.
So. Oh yeah, so Mid Hill is right next to Albemarle. Yeah, you do. Yeah. So that's that's my flow. So basically, I'm trying to see if we can, number one, get them to call versus us call them. And once they call, Diane or Darlene, who are my front desk, will set up their consult, explain the $50 deposit and how that works. You know, that if they come in, it'll go towards their treatment. At the consult, I do, even though I'm fee for service, I do still say, how old is your sleep study? Because I still want one, you know, within 1 or 2 years. And if they're willing to pay my fee for the home sleep study, they can take it home that day.
And they pay you whatever your fee is that who might be recommended. You don't have okay, I don't even, do we know?
What?
I don't know how much a fee is for a sleep study.
I can email you. If you're okay with Todd giving me your email, I can email you my fees. I don't mind sharing that with you.
She typed it in the
Put it
chat,
right
Dr.
here.
Manning.
Oh, sorry. Let me see. I need to learn how to work this thing.
So
Okay,
at
I see it. I see
There
it.
we go.
Okay. Thank you. So I'll email you that. Let me write that down real quick. Okay, so if they take home the home sleep study after the first visit, I wait to hear back from the sleep doctor, which again takes about 2 to 3 days. Then we reappoint them, go over it, and I block off an hour when I reappoint them. That way, if they're ready to get started, we don't have to schedule again. We can say, okay, my assistant's going to take you back, do your scan, get the correct bite registration, and that's pretty much it. And either they're going to pay cash up front or they're going to do our in-house financing, which I'll email you my fees and everything for that too.
You don't mind.
And my lab takes about 2 to 3 weeks to get the appliance back.
Okay. We've sent them to, well, True Function. We've sent them to Somnomed. We've sent them to, that's it.
So far with me, it's just
Yeah.
True Function.
I've used True Function since 2008. That's how long I've been doing sleep.
And
But
I've
it's,
never heard of them. Okay.
yeah, they're in California. They're pretty good.
Okay.
Frank is
Okay.
awesome. He actually knows what he's doing. He likes the panoramic in his hands too, so he can make rotations and whatever.
Okay.
It's pretty cool.
Okay.
And then that's it. So how many patients do you think you're seeing in a given month?
I would say it's slowed up here in July because of the holidays, but I would say about 5 or 6, give or take.
5 or 6 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And then patients you're saying they're fee for service. You're not fiddling with.
No, not right now. I'm
Yeah.
no.
Yeah,
If-
if you have the
Yeah.
staffing
Yeah.
to work with medical, like for example, Dr. Cuffy York, which Dr. Manning, you've met
Yeah.
him.
Mm-hmm.
He does 15 to 20 appliances a month with the same number of leads that Dr. Manning is getting, but he is a sleep only practice.
Yeah.
It's the only thing they do.
I'm like you. I do other stuff.
Yeah, and he's got one assistant and one front desk, and that's
Right.
it. They work 3 days a week.
Right.
So, I mean, if you want to go the route of medical, I think that is important to understand that there's a greater time commitment there.
Right.
There's going to be a lot more hand holding with the patients. When you send them home with a sleep test, you're going to have to call them the next day. How did things go? When are you bringing it? You should be bringing it back in today. Okay, now we're going to submit this data to a sleep doctor or your primary care. They're going to make a recommendation or write us a prescription. Once the prescription is written, then we can, there's a much different workflow than just being fee for service. So it just depends on, Dr. Ward, if fee for service is what your staffing and your time allows right now, that might be the best route. And, we can go the route that we're taking Dr. Manning. We're in the process. Hazel, she's on the call here. She's actually in the process of rolling out a completely new update to all our funnel pages that are converting better. But what we did with Dr. Manning specifically, when someone requests a consultation, we're actually asking them, have you had a sleep study? Are you currently wearing CPAP? And when those patients come into the dashboard, they're actually going to be tagged with those things so that your staff can see, oh, this person's had a sleep study. Oh, they're currently wearing CPAP. But also, like Dr. Manning mentioned, is I sent her some bullet point list things of what to talk about for a thank you page video, which is the page they go to after they request a consultation. And it basically says, hey, these next steps are critical. This is not about snoring or quality of sleep. This is about life and death. This is sleep apnea. So you kind of, Dr. Manning really focuses in on the severity of obstructive sleep apnea and the consequences, but then also has a very clear call to action of, you watch, there's going to be a few testimonial videos right below this video that you're watching right now. Watch those videos, see if you can relate to any of their stories, and if you're still interested, you're going to call Diana or whoever it is. You're going to call Diana at the office at this number, and there's a button right below this video. You can click and call Diana. So it's very personal, very direct. And I think that's, in other campaigns, we've seen that produce very, very well, and especially well if you're fee for service, because it's going to be more personal. It's going to be a stronger call to action. And obviously it's going to make things easier on Carla because of that strong call to action. Watch these videos, then call Carla. So, Carla's not going to be doing so much chasing those patients down, trying to get a hold of them.
Yeah. So what do you guys, how does all of that sound? Like, I mean, there's everybody here, by the way. Look.
Hey, sir, one sec. My kids just turned on the vacuum. I hate to stop them from vacuuming, but I can't hear anything. So I'll be right back.
Not stop them from vacuuming.
I know.
So what are your follow-ups like after they get delivered?
So I usually will call the very next day to check on them. And then I have them come in, I'd say anywhere between 2 weeks to a month out, just to see. And I do have an echo vision. I don't always put them on that. Do y'all have like the pharyngometer and all that there?
No.
No, yeah. It's not, it helps in explaining them, understanding it. But yeah, I have them come in about 30 days or so. And then if they're more like in the moderate or severe range, I'll get a follow-up sleep study as well, with them wearing the oral appliance, of course.
After the 30 days?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
After 30 days to get a follow-up sleep study?
Depending on how, their moderate level or severity.
Okay, so I think
with medical, they were recommending more towards a 90-day range, if I remember.
I think it is a 90-day thing.
Yeah.
I think our hang up is more on the logistics than clinical. What do you guys think?
It's more insurance, because we always have to go back and forth with the patient. All right, I need your insurance card. I need your ID. Don't forget, because with one patient, it was like back and forth. Don't forget, because this is your appointment. And he didn't give it to me until like 2 days.
Right.
1 or 2 days before the appointment. And it's like, I can't
do it. Right.
keep your benefits because I didn't
Right.
wait the last minute.
Right.
So is there such thing as we don't set up your appointment until we have your information? Because that's it in itself.
If you're going to go the medical route, that might be an option. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not going to do fee for service.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out, just so I'll share with you, Dr. Manning, we literally just, I don't know, I met Todd after I met Doug. So Todd, how long have I known you? Have we known each other? 2 months?
2 months. Yeah.
Okay.
So that one, add 2 weeks to that. And so we've just invested an incredible amount of money.
Yeah, I know.
A software.
Right.
And the potential easiness on how the system is going to work. So we have not even had a chance to test the waters. I don't think we've had a single patient that has gone through Cario.
Entered them, but they haven't gotten completely 100%, like as far as, all right, I need your sleep study, anything like that.
And what's the hang up on that?
We're just waiting for them to get their sleep study done. They have consults, but for them to return their sleep study, pulmonary said it takes at least 1 week for it to come back. And then our part is just availability.
Yeah, because I was just thinking, if we're getting the reports, then maybe it is that we don't have time to really sit down and enter the data, right? Because, I'm just trying to, this is an opportunity for us to reeval as well, because if we are getting the information, then we are the ones who need to be sure we have the things in order, like kind of make our own to-do list, right?
Have we set out this home sleep study from here yet?
Well, good question. We're supposed to have received that training, although I read the documentation already. Did you?
I did.
Okay. It seems like it's kind of like a snail, sort of too slow, if you will, to set up the training for this and for that. Um, I don't know that it's too big an ordeal. I mean, that is plugging 2 or 3 buttons and be sure that the battery is there. I don't think it's anything too complicated with the ResMed.
It's when I was doing dedicated sleep, are you and I know it costs more, so I don't know if you want to go this route. Are you renting the ResMed through them?
Sure.
Okay, so we didn't, I mean, she did like a quick PowerPoint video showing us how to use it, but she sent me a link. And what I did was when I was using them, I saved that link in the consult room where I was seeing the patients. And it's like a quick 5-minute video, and you don't even have to be in there the whole time. But before we sent them home, I just click the link and make the patient watch the video. And they can even, screenshot the link and watch it when they get home, because they're not going to remember anyway until they're ready to put it on at night. And I would make them watch the video, and we never had any issues with anybody being able to use it.
Yeah. And we can actually set up the campaign. So let's say in the lead management dashboard, we can add a pipeline that says, home sleep test. And when you move a lead into the home sleep test category, we can send them a link to that video.
Mm-hmm.
Teach me where that dashboard is, Todd.
It's on, if you go to app.gohighlevel.com, that's where your guys'
highlevel.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you were right, and it really is easy to use. That you just have to put new batteries in every time, and then it's up to them to just strap it on and figure it out, because you're not going to be at home with them. So that's why I just have them watch that video. Because I'm sure, no matter what we tell them, half the time they're not listening.
Well, and it's not, I mean, I got a chance to do a sleep study at home myself, and I was like, oh my God, do I even remember what they told me?
Right.
Paying that level of attention.
Correct. Yeah.
At that moment. All right, what else? I feel like I want to know how we can make it flow, because, we are paying dedicated sleep and we're paying Todd, and we need to find a way to make it work. I know that we're busy on the clinical side, on the dental side, to add more time to do
She's
that.
only giving them a 30-minute consult.
Mm-hmm.
So if we could cut our time down, we could definitely do more consults for that 30
Like in that time to two.
Yeah, because we've been looking like normal patients, like 90 minutes, that's possible.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Do you mind sharing with us what that consult entails for you?
Yes, so I am showing them. I have like samples of the appliances, and then I have, all my HSTs in that same room. Everything's in one room, so that helps. And I kind of have that room dedicated just for sleep consults. So I'm telling them, what I do, how long I've been doing it. I wear an appliance myself, so that kind of helps relate to the patients. Finding out how old their current sleep study is, what their situation is like, how long, if they have been diagnosed, how long they've had this issue, how long they've had their CPAP. And that conversation can take anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, just depending on how detailed the patient is. And once I form a relationship with them, I don't start going into cost until we, cross that line, because you don't ever want to come off as money, money, money. So I try to build rapport and relationship first. So to do that takes me about 5 to 10 minutes. And then of course they will naturally ask, is this covered by medical, or how much does this cost? And I briefly explain to them, why we don't do medical. I'm just honest about it. And then I start telling them my fees for each step. And if they want to go the in-house financing route, I'll have that in the room as well, so I can go over it with them. And of course, we take care credit. With the in-house financing, there's no credit check, but some people already have care credit, or they want to apply for care credit, which is what we have in North Carolina. So I keep those brochures in the room as well. But that's pretty much it.
So what happens if you get inside their mouth and they need dental work?
Yeah, that too. I left that out. I am doing a quick clinical exam. Then I stop and I'm honest with them and I say, okay, before we can do your oral appliance, you have X, Y, and Z going on. And they understand. And sometimes they will schedule to be a patient at our office if they don't already have a dentist. And if they do have a dentist that they like, I'll tell them, follow up with your dentist. When you get your dental work or your mouth stable, call us to come back in. But yes, we have had situations where we can't, make them an appliance.
So you basically do like a look-see. Come
Yeah.
in, how are you?
Mhm.
This is your
Mhm.
interest,
Yeah.
review medical history, tell me
Mhm.
what's going on, tell me about your
Right.
sleep study. May I look in your mouth?
Right. Right.
And that's that.
Yeah. And I usually have, one of my assistants in there with me, of course.
Yeah. All right. Any ideas, any thoughts? Anything that
And I did want to just add, if they do want to take home the HST, if I feel like they're a good candidate, they pass the exam test, etc. I have the watermark, so I do just briefly kind of fit them for it. So when they get home, they just have to slide it on their head. But again, if you have your assistant in there with you, it only takes 2 to 3 minutes to do that.
um, I'm writing notes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
At your follow-up visits, do you charge for those or are they included?
It's included. Yeah.
So do you just charge annually?
So we are right now, we get a down payment and then we allow them 6 months to make the remaining balance, the payment that's due.
So when you follow up, what I do is we follow up on the patients every 6 months to see how
Uh-huh.
they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And once a year, we take a panoramic X-ray to evaluate their joints
Mm-hmm.
to see how it's going. And so,
I would charge for that then if you're doing that once a year, the panoramic x-ray.
so when you do your exam, do you charge for like a periodic exam?
Yes. Mm-hmm. We call it like a limited or consult.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah.
And I will tell you my experience, sometimes because if they're not like your patients, if they're happy, they get it. We do try to do follow-ups, but sometimes we can't get them to come back, which I don't know what, that is what it is. But if they're not like your patients, they won't always come back in for their follow-ups,
I think we
Mhm.
of things that may be a successful thing on our end. Patients do come back for their.
Mhm.
We have our sleep patients we've had for a dozen years, which is not too many, but they do come in and
That's good.
we do their follow-ups. And some of them are actually related to other dentists. And so their dentist does their
Okay.
dentistry and I do their, you know,
Right. Good.
that's what we have. I just don't, where I'm hung, where I don't have although I'm liking all these ideas, but where I'm hung is on how to get the patients to actually come through the door, actually have the paperwork ready. Because if you're saying you're doing mostly fee for service, right?
I am all fee for service now. Yeah, I don't do. Yeah.
So you just tell them,
So
here's what it is, fee for service, move on.
with yes, for me, that's me.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
but when I had Cario, and again, like you said, some of them would do it, some of them would not. If I remember correctly, there was a way that you could send them. I don't know if it was like a QR code, but somehow or another, the patient can go in Cario and electronically fill everything out. Do you guys have that capability?
I don't know that we do.
Okay. You might want to check on that. Again, I'd say it was 50-50. Some of them would do it, but somehow or another, I can't remember. I think they would get an email and there would be or we would send them an email from Cario and then they would get a link and that link would send them to all the paperwork. So that way, when they came in, it was already uploaded into Cario. I would imagine you have that capability. They maybe just didn't tell you that. Did you do your training with Sue or trying to remember everybody's name?
Megan, I think. Pat.
Megan? Yeah, that name sounds familiar. I would ask her about that. I'm pretty sure you should have the capability to do that. Again, they're not always going to do it, but some of them would.
And so it sounds like the hard part for us is to have the time to gather all that info and put it together, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I'm in clinical and they are doing other things.
Uh-huh.
but I have to go over them about carry-out, but still it's like chasing down all this information when we still have other things like to follow up on, which is
So what was the simple thing that is not so simple? You know what I mean?
trying to get them to fill out their paperwork and send their medical insurance card,
Yeah, yeah,
entering all that stuff.
and entering all that stuff. Okay. I'm trying to look who gave us the training here in my notebook, actually.
Megan did.
Oh, it is Megan, you're sure? Oh, okay, I love it. Thank you.
My question is,
Mhm.
do you ever have patients, because you're fee for service, and I know you explained that in the beginning, to them, but do you ever have them say, because it's happened to me at my last office, well, my friend got her, like, her insurance paid for her medical device, so why couldn't you pay for my medical, you know what I mean?
Yes, and we're just honest with our patients, and I tell them, well, I'm not, but the girls up front are telling them, our experiences why we don't bill medical, and, either they can choose to move forward with us or go elsewhere and try to get it billed. But yes, we do get that. But for us, it just has not. Now, if I had maybe one day, if I can find a staff member that can bill medical for me where I'm not having to use a third party, I might reconsider it. But I have not had success with the third party companies. So
No, we tried Dental Writer and it's not easy.
we're just honest with our patients, and that's when we kind of say, we don't file medical and we understand, the cost. So we try to make it affordable and we try to use it that way. We want to make this affordable for you. So that's why we offer the in-house financing.
Oh, okay.
And honestly, what I found, and I don't know, I know you said you guys are getting started, but really, rarely does medical ever pay 100%. Like there were one or two patients that didn't have any out of pocket, but their out of pocket amount, if they haven't met their deductible, it's still high. And sometimes if they haven't met their deductible, it's more expensive than what your cash pay price may be. So we tell patients that sometimes too. So they're still going to be coming out of pocket. Rarely do you have a case where they're not, unless they've had a bunch of surgeries and they've met their deductible, they're going to have
December. Yeah.
Right. Or it's December. They're going to have a copay.
Yeah.
And we kind of present it to them that way too. Like it's not free with medical.
Right.
Yeah.
What else do we need to know, girls, to try to be able to move forward with this? What else can we learn? Take advantage from Dr. Manning. Thank you so much for your
Oh,
time.
you're welcome. And I am going to email you. It probably won't be till the end of the day, but I am going to email you how we kind of do it and share my fees with you.
Thank you.
And again, that's just my fees. Keep in mind where I'm at. My fees may or may not be comparable to where you practice, but just to kind of give you an idea.
An idea, yes.
Excuse me, doctor.
Yes.
You could send us the follow the bouncing ball that you would, when you get that contact information, what the next step is, what,
Yeah.
that kind of outline.
Yeah.
Because that's, it's between A and C that we're getting lost.
Yes.
I understand.
Your B looks like, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, awesome.
Can you CC me on those communications, Dr. Manning?
Yeah, I sure will. Absolutely.
The secret, Todd, is a secret. Sorry.
Yeah. Providers only.
Got it down here. CC time.
Yeah.
I sure will.
How long are your follow-ups? Are they like 30 minutes or?
I would say it depends on the patient. Because sometimes you have patients, that ask more questions. I usually block off like 30, 40 minutes. And then if they have more questions, like if I have to go to another room, usually my assistant knows my thought process so she can finish it up if I have to leave. But I usually block off like 30, 40 minutes.
Now, do you adjust their appliances or do you let them adjust their
I
appliances?
adjust. Yeah, I don't.
No, that's
I don't
okay.
know.
So do I. I never gave him the little
Yeah,
pins.
I always say don't give them the keys to the kingdom. I don't trust them to adjust it. They could break it or I don't know. I do. And yes, sometimes for some patients it requires more visits, but I don't let them adjust it.
Now, this is clinical, and since I have you here, do you do an AM aligner?
Say it one more time.
You do an AM aligner? Like
I don't. I don't. I know Cuffy does. I do not do an AM aligner.
Yeah, I know that's something he's really
Yeah.
big on.
Yeah.
And I know obviously it's another billable line item
Yeah.
that can be charged for.
Well, I don't think of, I don't even know how many sleep patients do we have? I don't know. Of all the patients, I have to say, we may have 2 NAM aligners. So I don't do it on a regular basis because I don't play the insurance game in any which way.
Right. Right. Right.
You know, so I only do it if they need it. I
Correct.
don't participate with dental insurance either.
Right.
So
Right.
that's most of the time people know when they come in that that's how the cookie crumbles here anyway, right?
Good for you.
We
Yeah.
make arrangements, but we don't
Yeah.
participate with insurance. I
Oh,
tell
that's
patients I don't let them boss me around.
That's good for you because they will. You're right. Good for you.
So that's, but anyway, with medical, we've tried in different ways because I've tried to help patients, but
Yeah.
it just take off.
Yeah.
What I've seen with it is now I do get a bunch of leads, but now
Right.
they don't turn into anything. So I'm like, all right, one portion is done. Step one, get the leads. After getting the leads, now we have them. Now what do we do with them? You know,
Right.
like, all right,
Right.
do we call them? I like what you presented, Todd, a good bit about. Here's a link, please read,
Right.
watch the videos, and then call. I like that
Right.
idea,
Yeah.
so that that'll decrease even more of
Mhm.
whomever is just fishing versus or not fishing.
Yeah.
What's the
And
proper
once
word?
once we have because Dr. Ward, your campaign is paused right now, so you guys aren't spending money, and whatever length of time we were paused, we're adding it on the back end of your 90-day term with us, so you don't have to worry about spending money right now, at least with us.
Thank you.
But I will send you Dr. Manning's funnel once it's complete, once we have that complete, so you can see the video that she recorded for the thank you page that has that clear call to action.
Okay. Uh, thank you on both accounts.
Mhm.
That's very nice of you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Appreciate, Todd, what you just said as well, because I don't think I realized that, but I'm most thankful because it feels like it's been 2.5 months and I'm like, okay, all we've been doing is paying, but we haven't got really much done, which is, you know, it is what it is. I'm sorry, because I know I speak a little boldly,
No, it's okay.
I like
But,
it.
Yes, we like it.
it is, you know, you, at some point it's got to become fruitful. And I do like to treat sleep patients. I don't plan to convert the practice into a sleep practice. I
right.
absolutely love my dentures and I'll stick with dentures forever. But then there's that side that I really want to help. I mean, I've been doing it forever. It just has never taken off. There's
Right.
something missing in the puzzle that just, even Carla, who came from a sleep practice, but I guess because I'm dental, but even Carla having come from a sleep practice with knowledge and interest and whatnot, I had this idea, okay, well, once we get whatever in place,
Mhm.
it'll take off, but it hasn't. And I don't think it's necessarily anybody's fault. I think
No,
it's
it's not. It's
we're
not.
busy or we don't know the system or we don't know dedicated sleep and cardio or something. Because the marketing is happening. We're getting the patients. I mean, the calling, the emails are happening, you know?
So as far as the $50 deposit, where do you pretty much say that? Do you say that on the website or on the ad?
No, I don't say, so that's not on any of Todd's marketing. That is actually when the patient calls. So we tell them if they call, they are told that over the phone call. We don't put that in any of the ads or anything like that.
Yeah, it's important to have some level of rapport and trust before you mention that, you know.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
thanks for reaching out. You know, what's going on? You know, I know it says here you're in CPAP, you know, how consistent have you been wearing that? You know,
And
and
I
then
think
you can have the discussion a few sentences down the line about, oh, we charge $50 for a consultation.
Everything in life is about engaging people. Everything
Right.
you do, that's how you get married, that's how you have kids,
Right.
that's how you everything. You engage people, right? That's how the world works. So I would imagine you first engage them and then you ask them to pay,
Right.
right?
Right, correct. Right.
I can take that down another.
And I think it was you, Todd, or I can't remember if it was to me this way or Deanna. But you know, if you call and get a massage, they require you to pay a deposit too. So I don't know why we as dentists feel so guilty, you know. But a lot of different services require a deposit, in order to schedule. So it's not a foreign thing.
Well, I think dentists have kind of shot themselves in the foot by commoditizing their services and
Right.
competing on price. And
Right.
you guys,
Don't even get me
Right.
started.
you
There's a
guys
lot of
shouldn't be
quality
competing on
topics.
price.
Right.
All right. Do we think we have some food for thought, you guys, or is there anything that we don't know? Or that
I'm
we
sure
still,
there's lots that we don't know.
well, I guess you're right. That was a bad question on my part.
And I'm still learning. It's a journey. That's all I can say. Just stick with it. We're still figuring it out too. It's getting better, but just try to stay the course.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Todd,
Nice meeting you
Hazel,
guys.
Dr. Manning, thank you
Thank you.
guys.
Yeah, we'll stay in touch. Thank you guys.
Yes, all right. You'll have a good afternoon. I appreciate your time.
You
You're
too,
welcome.
Dr. Ward. Bye, everyone.
Bye.